Hello, everybody. Welcome to Girl Let's Agree to Disagree. We are Kemi and Jessica, and I have no voice, but I sound sexy, right?
Okay. See, Jessica's mind always goes to a place that I just can't relate to. But hello, you guys. Oh my God. I feel like it's been so long since I've been on here with you guys. And
Yeah. So, hello, everybody who's coming in. Trickly, thank you for being here with us. It's been 2 weeks. We haven't been online. And there's a lot that has been going on, not just in Bachelor world, but in our personal lives. So, before we start, click like and subscribe. Click to receive notifications if you don't already. Say hello in the comments. We all miss you. I miss you, Cam.
I know. Oh, listen, Jessica was partying her ass off this week. Like, not her losing her voice.
Yes,
So,
me completely losing my voice. I'm going to try, but hopefully you all find it as sexy as I do because I think, the raspies and not
sexy.
everybody. For those of you who are wondering why I've lost my voice, we just got back. A few of us, quite a few people have come back from a weekend at Hearts of Reality, which was the fundraiser that we have been raising money for quite some time now. There were over 100 reality stars at this event, and we raised over $280,000 for children in who have critical and sometimes terminal illnesses. So it was really beautiful to see all of these little kids, to see how much money we've raised. We did a meet and greet. And then I also spent some time beforehand also going to like Disney and Universal. So it was just like a nice little kind of mini vacay. But hence the no voice because there's so many people that you have to be yelling over each other. And so I had
Yeah,
no
I mean,
voice.
it looked like an amazing time. So I'm glad that everyone got to go down there for such an amazing cause. And I'm glad you guys all had a good time with each other because it's always nice to meet other people in this space.
It is. It's very nice. And for those who may be asking, Hannah's going to come in just a little bit later. She's just waiting for the ability to get on. She's having some technical issues. And then, Kemi, you've also had a really like busy couple weeks.
Oh yeah,
Anything you'd like to share
for everyone who doesn't follow me on Instagram or YouTube, I just moved back up to New York. I moved into a new apartment, and it's my first time living alone. I know that sounds so like dramatic, but like it's my first time moving alone. So I have to get like pretty much completely new stuff. Because I lucked up over the past few years and have always lived with someone who's inherited their family stuff, so I never had to get anything. But now, having to be a big girl, I have to kind of design my own space, which I love. So if you would like to follow that, please follow me on Instagram at Kemi DECO. I'm going to start posting to my small apartment account this week. Next week, actually, next week.
Yay. Well, let's get to it because we haven't done these recaps in 2 weeks. There's a lot that we've missed. Deborah said, "Hey, just gonna say I don't like Nate." You're actually,
We were
believe it or
just
not,
talking
not the
about
only. We
that.
were just talking
We
about
were just
that.
talking about that. Okay,
We're
but
gonna.
Deborah,
We,
tell me, is Nate because this is true for me, is Nate the type of guy you would have been charmed by, your high school self would have been charmed by? Because my high school self would have been like head over heels for Nate in 2 seconds. That smile, those eyelashes, no, I would have been on. That height,
yeah.
I would have been into
He
it so hard.
he seems like a little. He seems like a little playboy, maybe a little disingenuous. I think that's kind of the feeling that I get from him as well. But I mean.
He
Yeah,
gives me like the girl is mine type vibes, right? Like it's more so about like winning and like not so much winning the show, but like coming out as like the guy on top. Like that's kind of how he comes across to me, but we could be wrong, you know? You never know.
Yeah. So since the last time we talked, There's been a lot of stuff that's gone on. We have it was Final Four. We lost Rodney. Unfortunately, we don't have Hannah to comment on this, as Rodney was one of her top picks, but he did make it to Final Four, which is what she said was probably going to happen. I didn't think he was going to make it to Final Four, but
I love Rodney. I love Rodney so much. Like, I might just kidding, I'm not. But Rodney's like such a husband. Like, he is like what you would want in a partner. In my
yeah.
opinion, me.
No, absolutely. Deborah said no, Kemi, LOL. I low key think he's overreacted. I'm thinking overrated, or is it he's overreacted? Or
Yeah, probably
Rodney looked better.
overrated.
Overrated. Rodney looked better than him. I mean, this is why we all have personal opinions. I mean, I don't know necessarily if Rodney looked better than Nate, because I think Nate's kind of cute. But right now, my fave in my heart is with Brendan, and so I think that's kind of my number one pick. I'm just gonna throw it out there. I somebody on my Twitter said no, not the 12-year-old, and
Thank you. I'm over here like, oh yeah, he's a nice guy. He literally gives me preteen vibes. Like, it's very much giving like shops at Zoomy. Okay, maybe not shops at Zoomies, but like he just seems very like young. Like, I don't know. I feel like Nate and Rodney give like man energy, and then I feel like Rodney's like your middle school boyfriend.
But didn't we want to marry her middle school boyfriend?
Until we grew up.
Mind you, she is a teacher. So who knows? Okay. You know.
Let's see. Jessica's about to get us in trouble with comments like that. Nope.
Sorry. I want to know how to pronounce your name. I want to say Beha. No, I'm not sure. But it says, yes, I would have been charmed by him, but his true self is starting to unravel. He has a bit of a cockiness. Still rooting for him though. Ugh, he was my day one pick. Fine. AF. I mean, I can't disagree with that. I think he is. And Deborah's like, he's mature though. I feel like he is way more emotionally mature than Nate. And I agree with that. I'm sure she's talking about Brandon. Well, you know what? Let's before going into this, I just wanna, because we didn't talk about this, Kemi, and it was crazy. Let's talk about the men tell all, because this was kind of like, I just want to quickly just overall thoughts. To me, messy AF. Like, I think it was just the most messy, random thing you could watch on TV that day. I think they filmed it on a full moon. I don't know what the hell exactly happened.
Yeah, I mean, I think the thing that stood out to me about the men tell all, of course, was Tayshia. I mean, what was going on with that? Did production ambush her? What was that about? Like,
that was very random, wasn't it? For those who didn't watch Men Tell All, like, it was just like in the middle of the show, just Caitlyn randomly asked Tayshia, you know, what was going on in her relationship, and Tayshia, you know, said that her and Zach were broken up, and I don't know. It was very awkward the way she said it, right? And then
she kind of walked off. Some people
in the middle of talking to Rodney, right?
Yeah, it was weird.
She was just like, I'm sorry, I can't do this. And she like walked out, and it was just like, what the hell just happened?
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like they ambushed her. I don't like that. So, but other than that, I feel like they really gave it to the guys that they needed to give it to. So I did like that. And I honestly, as much as some people are probably hating on it, I love that the little pizza boy brought out his pizzas at the end. I thought that was cute.
Look, when I tell you, Gregory said the men tell all dragged all the men I don't like. Look, it kind of summarized just like all the cattiness that was going on in this season, because there was quite a bit of drama that we didn't it was just like a lot, and I didn't think that there was going to be that many. The men obviously were not all kumbaya like the season prior, because there was only like one or two guys that kind of were in the mix that made, the season a little dramatic. But these men, they like, I thought they were gonna box. Olu looked like he was gonna, you
Yeah.
know, come at dude. The other, like Pete, like, oh my god, how awkward was it when Pizza Pete or whatever his name is, like, ended up like serving him papers. Is like serving him papers in the middle of this thing, and Will's just like looking at this, throwing it on the floor. I'm just like, what the hell is going on? This is so messy and awkward. And you know how I hate secondhand embarrassment. Like, I'm like I hate it when things are very cringe. I
Yeah.
found it to be very cringe.
I also thought it was weird that Colton didn't show up. Like, we get it, he's filming like The Bachelor or whatever's going on, but there's no reason why he didn't show up to Men Tell All. Like,
I agree. I was like, where is Clayton this whole time?
Clayton.
And
Yeah.
you said Colton? Yeah. And you might as well have called him Colton Jr. Like, but I was wondering, I was like, where was this man this whole time? How disrespectful. He became the Bachelor. Nobody actually
Cared about him. Cared about him.
Nobody cared about him, but I feel like he didn't even care, or ABC didn't care enough to even give Michelle the respect of him like talking about the relationship between him and Tayshia. I mean, whoa.
Oh my God. Between him and
not me saying Tayshia. Hannah.
Hi. Hello. How is everybody?
Good. We're just talking about Men Tell All right now.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that was interesting. What part are you talking about?
Just how Clayton didn't show up and how like unnecessary it was for, first of all, him to even be the Bachelor, but then it was a little disrespectful towards his experience with Michelle that he didn't even show up to speak on it.
Yeah, and they tried to pass it off as if he was busy like falling in love with 30 women or whatever they said, but his season's done filming.
Yeah.
Like, anybody that is on Twitter would know that. Like, I just don't understand. I don't know.
It was a little bit of a mess, and I apologize because my voice is gone. I don't know if Ovi's is gone as well, but I can't. Everybody that I know so far my voice is gone.
Yeah, his voice was too. I picked him up from the airport at like 2 a.m. on Sunday, and immediately he got in the car, and I was like, "You sound bad." like his nose is stopped up. I was like, "You sound horrible."
Yeah, we're just all of us just have been yelling way too much. We just yell over each other. So, okay, so we have some people. Thanks, Ashley. Thank you, Ashley, for watching the episode as you are watching us live. That's kind of cool.
I know, in real time.
Yeah, we'll let you catch up, girl. But yeah, we were talking about how random, how awkward, and how unnecessary some things were, and on this Men Tells All. Like, it was just a lot of cringy moments. But
yeah, I don't know. I thought a lot of it was just odd, and I thought the whole thing with Tayshia weird. I don't know why they felt the need to do that. I'm not blaming Tayshia because I'm sure it wasn't really her call whether or not, but like, if they were going to do that segment, I don't understand why they did it in the order that they did it, because it made no sense for them to be like, by the way, why did your year-long engagement end, Tayshia? Please explain. And then 5 seconds later, expect her to be interviewing Rodney or whoever it was. Like, it was like a upbeat kind of segment. It was just odd. I don't know. I felt like from her reaction, it made it seem to me like she was just kind of like had to get through it, but wasn't really the one that was like, yes, I want to talk about this. So
yeah, I feel exactly the same way. I feel like it could have either been the first thing that they talked about because, okay, elephant in the room, or they could have done it at the very end, but to do it like somewhere in the middle and just expect her to
Yeah, it's
to
weird.
to to do that, it was really odd. Yeah. And then like how she had that smile on her face and then all of a sudden was just like just
Yeah.
walked up and left. It was like, oh, just this is just odd.
Yeah, I felt really bad for her.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know what's going on with that. I feel like also it's not it doesn't have anything to do with Michelle. It doesn't have anything to do with this season. Like, that is one thing that I will say I feel like can get messy when it is hosts who, are previous contestants, especially so recently. It's just kind of like I do think in a way it kind of distracts from the lead. And I don't mean that as like a dig to Tayshia or Caitlyn because I think they do a great, like, good job, but I just think it's like a little distracting to be talking about their own drama at Michelle's thing. Like, I feel like it just, like,
Absolutely.
takes away from her and her
Absolutely.
moment. I don't know.
I mean, absolutely. Had this been Chris Harrison and it was his relationship, like he wouldn't just go into the middle of everything and say, "Oh, by the way, me and whatever that girl is from E or whatever,
Lauren,
yeah, me and
Zena.
Lauren broke up and we're amicable now, but things just did like who? This isn't about you. You're the host.
Yes, it's
You've already
inappropriate.
had your Bachelorette moment. Call it quits. Like this is why
Yeah.
you go on podcasts. It's not
And
about
again,
you."
I don't blame Tayshia. I don't think that she was the one that made that call, most likely, but it was just weird
Yeah.
timing. But that was pretty much the only thing. That was the main thing to me that stuck out during the whole men tell all
Yeah.
thing. I don't
By the
know.
way,
Also,
I want to let you all know, I'm still married. I came back home and like everything's good. My relationship is good. Steve picked me up from the airport. We're doing good.
did
I
Thank
just
you for that
somebody
information.
Yeah, I just want to let everybody know, just in case they thought, you know, things on the street, pictures with people, you know how things go.
We do know how things go, and thank you, Jess. We really appreciate
Yeah.
sharing that information with us. But just moving on to tonight's episode. So honestly, okay, wait, no, getting rid of Rodney. I felt like that was a bad decision. Rodney's ending
agreed.
for anyone.
We were
Yeah,
just talking about
I'm
this
so glad
earlier,
that you guys
Hannah.
have finally come around to Rodney, who I liked in the beginning.
We did
Yeah.
we did mention this while you were gone and we were waiting for you. We wanted to wait for you to talk about Rodney. We know that he was one of your top picks, if not your top. And I apologize because we did say that he wasn't going to make it to top 4 and you knew he was going to make it to kind of the top, at least in the top. What was it that we said, top 5?
I said he was going to be in the top 4.
Okay. Yeah.
listen,
So.
Hannah needs to play the lottery because with odds like I was betting he was gone at like final 10, honestly.
You know what? I am going to a casino later this week, so hopefully the luck stays. Well,
Honestly, I have faith in you. Your third eye obviously sees all.
but yeah, I just I don't know. I think Rodney is just like the whole package, and really I don't understand. To me, I think he is a bachelor. Like, to
Yes.
me, I feel like Rodney is a bachelor in his edit, in his personality. He has such a good personality, and they talk about him in a way kind of like he was an underdog, which I think could be his like edit too, like that he's the underdog or whatever, and now he's the lead. But I don't think he's an underdog, and like I don't think he's not attractive either. Like, I don't know why I guess because she has quite a few good looking dudes, maybe that's why, but like I think he's cuter than Joe. Like, I don't know. I don't get the like
It's
putting
so
Rodney down. I think he's better than
he's
people are
very
giving him props for.
charismatic. I think that's
Mhm.
like the big thing for me is like his personality is like very, very attractive and like infectious in every way that Joe's is not. you know, so which is
Yeah.
like it's fine to be reserved and you know, but just as far as like contestants go, like he's a very attractive like contestant. Sorry,
Yeah.
Billy is like being
And I agree
I
with
agree.
Sam. I agree with Sam. I think he should have been the Bachelor. There's no reason that Colton Jr. should have been the Bachelor. It makes no sense. Absolutely none
but doesn't it
whatsoever.
make sense? Doesn't
I
it make sense?
mean, yeah, it makes sense
Remember the
when
demographic.
it makes sense to kind of, I don't know, balance whatever they think they need balancing of, because that's all I see, is just that they want to
Get
maybe
things back on track.
get things back to where they used to be, to see if maybe they're, the way I personally see it is that the ratings have gone down, and they're blaming it on it being woke and not blaming it on all of the issues that caused it to be that way. And also, and to mention that they've changed dates, they changed they changed days, they changed format, they've
They've
changed
had like
they've added like 15.
years.
Yeah, they've added 15. It's like Bachelor on crack, where we've watched Bachelor after Bachelor after Bachelor after Bachelor, so people just have like, we're just worn out, and they don't notice that isn't it odd that now that Colton Jr. is on this next Bachelor, that they changed it to Mondays again.
Yeah. I think that it's annoying because I feel like they will I think that his season will be successful. I think people will watch it more than they have this one, and I think they'll watch it more than they watch Katie's, because I think The Bachelor in general normally does get higher views than The Bachelorette. I'm pretty sure, just because it's kind of like their OG. But yeah, I mean, I think that it will for a lot of reasons. One of them being because, as we saw with Katie, I think when they like a contestant, they put a lot, or they like a lead, they put a lot more of their like energy and their juices, like creative juices behind the season and behind the
Yeah,
production of the season too. And I feel like the last time we saw a season that they like really put their all into the styling, the production, all of it, was with Hannah B. And that was like their most recent, like biggest season that I can remember, like Hannah B. Peter era.
Hannah
And
B.
then it
Yeah,
started to go downhill after that. And I feel like it'd be easy to say from the outside, it's like, well, now they're like trying to be woke or whatever, and they have like more diversity in their leads. But I think realistically, it's more so because you've changed the timing of things. You're doing too much. There's an overwhelm of content. And that's just like anything. If there's so much of it, there's not going to be this high demand for people, and there's not going to they're not having to wait any time to watch it. So why would they be excited for it? Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I say this to say that I think that they will put a lot of energy into Clayton's season, and it's kind of annoying to see them do this. That's just my prediction, but that's what it seems like to me.
I agree, and I think bachelors like Clayton are a lot more palatable for their audience. The quiet
Mhm.
guy who's just like, you know, gives you hometown vibes or whatever. Especially when like The Bachelor, like the reason that most people like The Bachelor is because you get to see the women shine, right? Like you get to see the women's personalities. Women usually bring entertainment to shows. So, you know, that's another reason why I feel like Bachelor seasons always do tend to do better. Um,
Mhm.
because I mean, who wants to see men argue? It could get violent very quickly.
Yeah.
Versus seeing women argue, it's just kind of like, you know, whatever. Or like drama that
yeah.
comes.
Why is that? Like, why is it so awkward to watch men fight, but when girls fight,
Because
it's
it's so
just so
serious.
funny and like, oh my god, this is.
Because men are violent creatures. Like women aren't like what happened at Well, whatever. I just feel like when I see men getting into arguments, me personally, it makes me uncomfortable. Like, calm down. Like, at some point, you're gonna have to be able to control your emotions. But like, when women argue, it's like, okay, I understand why you're upset that she said that your lip filler was lopsided. I completely understand. So, yeah.
Oh yeah, and yeah, as Erica says, I love looking at the women's outfits too. Yeah, I guess it's just, you know, us kind of picking that apart versus all the men who have the exact same color suit on and, you know, loafers with no socks.
And it's hard too because I feel like you get down to like with what we have right now, you know, I mean, good for Michelle because I think she's got men that are like really mature and like, you know, Nate and Brandon and the way they act and they're not really like coming for each other's throats and stuff like that. But I mean, that's the difference between having women at the end versus having these dudes like Nate who were just like, eh, I'll just mind my business. Like
Yeah.
I'm only worried about me. I'm only worried about my connection, and that's great, but it's not great TV. So
Especially they pump the women full of wine. Listen, the men aren't sitting there drinking the wine like that. So, yeah,
That's
I
true.
mean,
But what I will give Michelle though is that she has not disappointed in giving us looks. Like
yeah.
that woman has been on point each and every time she comes out. Like every gown, I just every time I see her, it's kind of like, whoa, this gown
yeah,
is stunning. This
I
this
loved
outfit
the
is beautiful.
blue cutout one, like the ombre-y, like, glitter one, that one was beautiful. It's crazy though because, like, nothing has changed, like, this is the same stylist who has been the stylist for, like, the entirety of the franchise, which means that this is the same stylist who styled Katie, so, like, it's just not clicking for me, like, where where the disconnect was for that, but, I mean, I'm happy for Michelle, I really am.
You
Yeah.
might have had a little too much input.
True. So let's talk about these kind of like final dates, these fantasy suites. Roughly, we won't go like one by one because I feel like it was very generic. I was very
Yeah,
unimpressed. Was anybody else unimpressed with what was
I was
going
bored.
on? Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think the only one that stood out to me was Brandon. He's very sweet. I mean, when I forget exactly how she asked if he was going to be ready for marriage, and he's like, I'm ready to like spend the rest of my life like getting to know you and like making you happy and like building memories. It was so sweet. Like he is saying like all the right things. He's such a sweet person, and I love that for her. I was honest. Well, we'll get into that later, but I was surprised that she picked him over Joe.
Joe.
I was very surprised about that, but I'm happily surprised, and I think she definitely made the right decision. But she did seem a little
I
whipped by Joe.
I think that Brandon likes her the most,
Yeah.
by far. Like, I think that he is the most into her. He is the most, like, serious about her, and I feel like he's the one that, like, outside of this, I could see, like, being committed to her the longest. That's what I think. I thought
Yeah.
he's really sweet. He's like you said, he says all the right things and he's yeah, I mean, I think he's really, like, actually in it. I don't know. I don't get the vibes that he's, like, pretending,
Yeah.
where
But see, this is
whereas, like, sometimes you feel that way, I feel like, with some of the later contestants that, like, maybe they're just, like, trying to feel that way. I feel like he
yeah.
actually does, so
I think all of them. The thing with Michelle's season in totality, because I know a lot of people were saying like Rodney should have been the next Bachelor. Obviously, the only thing is that the reason we like Rodney so much is because I feel like he was really truly there for Michelle. If anything,
mhm.
if he maybe wasn't the Bachelor, and this is giving ABC mad benefit of the doubt, you know, because I do think that they were just going to pick a Colton Jr. But at the same time, I think that Rodney would not have accepted because he is still genuinely in love with, you know, with Michelle. And you can see even during the men tell all, like I thought he was about to cry. He looked like he was still so invested in it that it was
Mhm.
still just so, you know, so fresh and new for him that he probably wouldn't even know what to do or was probably not even ready to be
Yeah.
the Bachelor.
I thought about that too, about, like, maybe it is because some of these later guys genuinely, because they are, like, pumping it out so quickly, maybe they genuinely would still be, like, in their feelings about Michelle the whole time. Like, if they actually did fall in love with her, then that could be a problem. So I thought about that too, but I still don't love this trend of, like, picking someone in the middle of a season
Mm-hmm.
instead of picking the person who, like, gets their heart broken or whatever. Like,
No,
I'd rather wait 6 months and let that person get over it and you film a good season than we just pick random dude that we have no connection to.
true.
Yeah.
Not Diamante saying Brandon got Joe Goldberg vibes though. Stay woke. What is
No.
I do not get stalker you vibes from Brandon. That is it's funny, but I don't does anybody else get stalker vibes from Brandon?
No. I don't
I
get that.
I do think that Brandon definitely likes her the most, but I think that it's like an equal. Like I think she also really likes him a lot. You know. I'm
She says, Diamante says, I'm never wrong. Okay, girl. I'm gonna be like stuck to Bachelorette for a while trying to figure that one out. See if he doesn't get the rose, the final rose, then I'm gonna follow him actually. I'm gonna follow him just to see the vibe.
She
Because
said, "Y'all believe edits, I believe people." Whatever. No.
Listen, wait. So
Anyways.
who do we think out of let's skip over Joe because honestly, Joe to me should have been gone a while ago. You know,
I
um,
don't get it.
I was
yeah, I don't get it either.
to me he would have been sent home night one after you ghosted me. No,
Yeah, red flag.
that's not happening. But he should have been gone a while ago. I mean, Michelle was devastated sending him home, right? Like, she was like distraught. So, I don't know what the producers didn't show us about their connection, but I mean, Homegirl could barely keep it together. I mean, she didn't keep it together. So, I
I
mean,
feel like
whatever.
maybe it's because she did like him before. Like, maybe it was kind of like, settling that in her mind of, like, this is, because I feel like if you have a crush on somebody for a little while or, like, you had, like, a little whatever before, like, maybe she just needed to flesh that out and realize, like, "Okay, this
This
is
is
this
not my
person that
person.
maybe I've, like, idealized in my head, and maybe it's just not to the level that I thought it was in my mind," but, like, also, she probably, like, had a crush on him for a while after that, so maybe that was part of it, it's kind of like letting go of a more long-term connection or, like, an emotional connection in her
Yeah.
mind. I
Yeah.
don't know. I just don't get it because I don't think I realized until this episode how quiet he is. Like, I was just staring and I was
Thank
like, "Are you
you.
gonna say anything? Like, are you gonna?" He's so like, I think he's a cute dude, and, like, there's just, like, nothing going on behind those eyes. Like,
Yeah. No, I agree with you. It was like, it's more like, oh my God, you were perfect on paper. I think in her mind,
yes.
she was thinking, I'm Miss Basketball, you're Mr. Basketball. We're both from Minneapolis. You know, we're both biracial, individuals. We have very
Yeah.
similar views with it. It's everything is just so perfect on paper wise. And then who knows what happened in the fantasy suites. Maybe once cameras were off, he was just like drained and then just like didn't give her anything. um
I don't know,
I
I
don't
feel like
know.
that probably I feel like that probably helped him not having cameras because I think that there has to be some more personality that we're not seeing. There
Yeah,
there just has to be something. But no.
Absolutely. Wait, okay, so I'm gonna ask that question because I think a lot of people assume that fantasy suites, like I was reading, and a lot of people are assuming that fantasy suites are for them to hook up, which is not the case. I mean, it could happen, but no. But the whole idea of fantasy suites
Hannah's like, you
is.
sure?
But the whole idea behind fantasy suites is for the cameras to not, it's their first time without cameras to actually ask those one-on-one questions. What was it? Tasha said that when she was with,
Ivan.
Ivan. When she was with Ivan, during that time, they talked about religion. They talked about all of these other things behind camera, and then found out like that faith was kind of the determining factor or whatever it was, you know?
Yeah, but they also hooked up.
Wait, was that confirmed?
I'm pretty sure they hooked up.
In that trailer, they were in a freaking trailer. I would not have.
Jessica, get it how you live. Get it how you live, because honestly, like, listen, I don't know if the
I would not.
You think it does?
I would not have my first hookup in a fucking Bachelor.
I'm sure they took a Clorox wipe to it before they let you in there. So, yeah.
Okay, so okay, let's take a quick poll on this. Out of the 3 fantasy suites that Michelle was in, and the people in the chat, please let us know your thoughts. Did Michelle smash all 3 of these men?
Not smash. Jesus, yes. I'm sorry. Is this Barstool Sports? Like, what are we turned into? Relax.
I think that she was intimate with all 3.
Yes. Oh, that was a very nice way of you saying it, Hannah.
Yes,
that was very
I
nice.
also think she was intimate with all 3.
And as she should. You know, I don't blame her for it, but I think she did. Okay? And that's fine. You got to test it out before you're engaged. I get it. It is what it is.
Yeah. Well, I'm sorry. I was maybe I said smash because Diamante was like, she didn't smash Ivan though. I literally said smash because I saw it smash somewhere. But yes.
Jessica blaming other people. But yes, I think at the very least, Nate and Brandon for sure. Nate, no question. Like,
absolutely.
Listen.
Absolutely. Yeah. I would just wonder how politics go with that. Like, do you think that there is a reason behind the order of all of this? Do we know like the psychology? Are most final fantasy suites the person they choose?
Well, the way that they show it isn't always the way that it happens either.
I was going to say, I think production has a lot to do with the ordering as well, you know?
I don't know if Reality Steve has said exactly yet when each one was like filmed versus when it's shown on the show, but a lot of times it's different.
But they talk. I mean, but they talked about it in there. Like they show them leaving, unless they do that for absolutely each and every one.
They don't do that for every one, I don't think. I mean, that could be the case. I don't know, but I think that person who I would least want to be the person in the middle. I'd want to be either the first one or the last one. I think.
Yeah. Me too, because I would feel if I was first, I'd feel like, yes, she couldn't wait to see me. And if I felt like if I was last, I'd be like, oh, she saved the best for last. But if I was in the middle, I'm like,
Ivan was in the middle, wasn't he?
And what happened to him?
I don't know.
Yeah. I think Ivan was in the middle because I remember like this person got, I forgot what it was. It was like they got a hotel room. She was just in a hotel room and now she's with Ivan and he has a trailer. Like I was so confused. It was like his RV. It was not even a glamorous RV. It wasn't glammed up at all. I was just so confused. It was bad. But
anyway,
okay.
Joe,
so Joe got the boot. Joe got the boot. Were we expecting it?
No, I was not expecting it, but I'm so glad that it happened. Like, here's the thing, Joe, he's boring, especially when you sandwich him between, I mean, not boring. Oh my God, I'm so insensitive. But her personality shines more with Nate, who's just sexy. I'm sorry. And then Brandon, who's just a lover boy. And then where does Joe fit in? Like small town vibes? Like, who cares about that? Like, okay, you know, you can be friends with him when you go back to Minnesota or Michigan, whatever. And like, when you take Nate home, because Nate to me is giving like a thrill. Like, that is the thrill that women seek when they're with someone. You get those butterflies. And then Brandon is like the feeling of like security and like, you know, feeling like appreciated and stuff like that. And honestly, like whoever she ends up choosing is really going to say a lot about, to me, is going to say a lot about what she looks for in a partner, because they're so different. Like they couldn't be more different.
We got to talk about Nate's date though, because okay, I get it. I think it's so obvious that he is her number one. And I get like the appeal. I think his personality, like his laid back personality is really hot. Like I think that's really attractive. But also I feel like if any of the other guys would have had the conversation that they had at the table, she would have been like, say that was Brandon. She would have been like, I just felt like, you know, he wasn't opening up to me and like I had to do the work to get him to open up. Whereas with Nate, she's just like, okay, I asked him and he said it. So like, let's go. And I just feel like she's just like happy that he said what she wanted to say, him to say, but she had to ask, you know? Like, and that's fine. Like, I guess you have to like guide people through sometimes if they're like quiet people, but he just seems so laid back to me that I don't think he's at the level that Brandon is at. I don't know.
Yeah, well, some people think that Brandon's also 12, which I do not agree. I think
I don't see that.
I don't see that. I think he's just
I think he
adorable.
looks his age. Like, I think he looks his age, which is what, like 27?
Oh,
you think
well, he does not look 27.
Yeah, like, you think he looks 27? You're saying that because you're being nice, Hannah. You see, here we are. We thought that sweet little Hannah being plucked out of the South into the mean streets of New York, right? We thought that she would lose that Southern charm, that likability. No, here she is lying for no reason. That man, Brandon looks like he's 19. I'm sorry.
He looks not like 19.
No, he doesn't.
Sorry.
You know what? I'm not going to lose my niceness, my sweet personality, just because I live here. And I will let you know that every time I walk my dog in the morning, I tell everyone good morning and give the doorman a smile, even though they look at me like I'm crazy. I don't care. So y'all can be miserable and mad here if you want to, but I'm not.
So and like, you hear that, Jess? What did I just say this morning?
You can take Hannah out of the country, but you can't take the country out of Hannah. Exactly. That's what she's saying.
Jess, what did I say this morning about people talking to me while I have my headphones?
She says, I have my headphones on, which means do not talk to me. That's
okay, that's different. But if I pass you and you've got your dog and you're not wearing headphones, I'm gonna be like, good morning, and smile. And the doorman, what else do they have to do? They're just standing there. You can say hi.
It's true.
Anyways.
It's true.
I mean,
I think they appreciate it.
I'm a little bit both. Like, see, because y'all New York in Chicago, I don't say hi to nobody either, which is just like me, just minding my own business. But when I'm with Steve, he's just like, good morning, beautiful day today, isn't it? And I'm just like, why are you talking to them?
Steve is affected with the same sort of thing that Hannah's affected with. The Southern
which is nicest.
Canadian.
But he's Canadian, so he's up north. He's not Southern. It's not
the same thing. Canadians are nice the way Southern people are, like, nice.
Well, then I guess you would think that about Nate, because Nate's Canadian.
Right? I know. He's fine as hell. He's at least
Canadian?
Yeah.
I didn't
Yeah,
know that.
he's Canadian. So
He's very cute. Anyways,
he
she
they're
definitely hooked up with him, and you could tell that when she woke up, she was just like, finally.
all three are gorgeous enough and cute enough to have that. You don't think so, Kemi?
Brandon looks very young to me. I mean, the thing
No.
is, like, he looks okay. I'm sorry. If you line I think they're all around the same age. If you line the three of them up, which one's the younger brother? Which one's the
I
younger brother?
think Joe looks young.
Okay, no. Brandon definitely looks like the
Thank
youngest.
you, Jess. Thank you, Jess.
He does look okay. He looks
Hannah must
youngest
be
out of all of
stopped.
them, but Joe looks young too. His face is like so whatever. Anyways, we all agree that Nate is the best looking of all of them, and I think she picks him. That's my guess.
So
So
that's your thought. I mean,
She told him she
yeah,
was in
I'm
love with
tired
him.
of y'all. Exactly.
I was so
I
surprised she said that back to him. Like, I'm sorry, where's production to like intervene? Where are they?
They don't care. They love it. They love it, especially when they say it to multiple people. Do y'all
Yeah.
remember when Big Ben Higgins like popped that the first time when he told like who was it? It was
Mojo
Lauren
and
and Lauren and JoJo that
mhm.
he loved both of them.
had Leticia. I can
Oh my god. Whatever.
I do. I mean, he does look young. I'm not even gonna lie. He looks young. He's sweet, and he has this. I don't know, something about him. This whole my heart, I put it on the table because it's yours to have, and
You know
like all
what it
this.
is?
I was like, this is what she needs. This is what she wanted. She wanted that security to be seen, and then she's got someone like Nate that's like, no, I really have nothing to talk about.
Except being fine as hell. I'm just sitting here being fine, and that's enough. And you know what? Sometimes that gets you where you need to be. So, but you know what the thing about Hannah is right now with Brandon? It just came to my mind, and you know, my mind is so powerful.
Oh,
So
really? I'm scared. I'm scared to hear this,
Hannah
really.
is defending herself because when Ovi shaves his face and cuts his hair, he still looks 3 years younger. So she's just going up, and I understand. I understand. You have to defend yourself in these moments that it counts. So I get it. I get it,
Yeah.
girl.
Yeah. Brandon is a romance novel. He is the one, like, I fell in love with him for her, the way he was talking to her. So I was just kind of like, oh, she needs this. This is the guy that she needs. The one that she needs might not be the one that she wants. You know, like sometimes people give you what you need and not what you want, but this is what she needs. Hopefully.
He would be a good husband. He would be a really good husband.
He would. Not a Joe from You. I don't get stalker vibes from him. I just feel he was genuinely he's in love with her. So try everything he can to be with her. I see that for
I just don't see any world, and this sounds so bad. Hopefully, like, this sounds really bad, but I just don't see a world in which Nate at his current state is a better husband than Brandon. Like, I just don't see that. And Brandon and Michelle have so much fun together. Like, they're very playful. Whereas I see her relationship with Nate being very, like, more so lust than like potential like love. But we also don't see everything. So who knows? He might be a lover boy. I doubt it, but yeah.
Yeah.
Leticia made a good point. They said Nate could be like a Brian, where everyone thought Rachel was making the wrong choice, and now Peter is still single and she's happy with Brian. You know what? I think you might be right because I was one of those people that was like so confused about the whole Brian thing, and I thought she was completely like settling for him because Peter didn't want to get engaged. And then we come to find out like years later that there was so much with Brian that we didn't see because they were editing it for Peter, essentially, and that could totally be the case because I thought Brian kind of had that, like, bad boy vibe a little bit too, the way that Nate did, but now they're, like they're
Yeah.
good. They're, like, a solid bachelor couple.
Yeah,
Speaking of that
Ashley.
Peter, though,
Just to
can we
just to
make him
tell
the bachelor?
Ashley, just telling Ashley that Brian is from Rachel Lindsay's season, who was the
Yeah,
first Black Bachelorette, and Brian is they are still
a
currently
Blasio is
together.
his
They're
last
married.
name.
Yeah.
But can we make Peter Kay the next bachelor? Because I adored him, and he is still so fine. Like, ugh, he'd be
I
such
don't
a
know
good
anything
one.
about him. I can't seem to find that season to watch it, so I've never watched Rachel's season. So I know it's impossible to find old Bachelor seasons.
What?
I know.
Wow. That was one of my favorite seasons,
Even like
actually.
the pirate websites, like they do a really good job of snatching those down. Like,
If anybody knows a way to get Rachel's season, let Kemi know. I'm sure we'll all try looking for it. But
yeah.
I do love Peter, and I mean, like, he just wasn't ready. I think he was just like he's really hot, and I agree with you, Hannah. I just think, like, had he been ready, like, she would have picked Peter. She definitely would
I
have
think
picked
she would have
Peter.
too. And you know what? It may not have worked out. And I think her and Brian are a really good match, and it, like, works really well for her lifestyle. So, like, I think timing is everything. But I think that's the same thing that's happening with Joe, and not Joe. He's not even there anymore. Brandon and Nate.
Yeah.
Hopefully, I hope it works out to where they actually stay together the way that Rachel and Brian have.
Same. I mean, yeah, we would just only hope. So I just want to do a really quick um agree or disagree, because this is what we do. We haven't done this in a really long time, so we have usually these little segments at our girl that's called agree or disagree, where we say a comment, and you all who are watching can either agree or disagree at the count of three by either saying a thumbs up or thumbs down. But I know that we haven't done this lately, so I'm just going to go with one. If anybody has other ones, you are more than likely or more than welcome to say it. There was something that Nate said, and so I want to get people's opinions. Nate said that, Brandon was having a really hard time watching the other two go on these fantasy suite dates. Nate said it's hard for Brandon because he was the first. So do you agree or disagree with that comment, that he, like, had he been like the second or third, he probably wouldn't be as distraught? He was more distraught than anybody, I think, with Brandon being the most distraught. Was that because he was first? So let me rephrase this. It was hard for Brandon. Brandon was freaking out, mainly because he was the first person and he knew what was happening on those fantasy suite dates, which is why he was freaking out. Agree or disagree? That makes sense? Sometimes I...
Makes sense. Yeah.
Okay. On the count of three. 1, 2, 3. Really?
Yeah, I think he just like is the most invested in her, and like he has a hard time with, like, I think any placement he was in, he would have had a hard time knowing that she was on dates with other guys.
I think he would have
Hmm.
been worse. I understand. I did like the middle because I understand what Nate was saying, and I think that could be the case, like, where it's very hard for the person because they, like, do have that connection, and then they have to watch everybody else go, and, like, you do know what's happening. But I think Brandon, if he had gone last, I feel like he would have psyched himself out so much that I feel like there would have been, like, problems, Like,
Hmm.
I feel like he would have watched the other 2 go and then would have been thinking, like, "Well, did she just do this with Nate, or did she just do this with Joe?" Like, whatever the night before. I feel like Brandon would have had a worse time last than first. But
Yeah, I thought for sure that he was probably feeling more of those effects and like psyching himself out because he knew what was happening on those dates, and it was, and like him having this experience with her, he knew that she was going to have a similar experience with the other two, and that was probably hard for him. It's very interesting to see. Again, I wasn't very happy with these, and the fact that it was Mexico, so it felt a little bit more Bachelorette-esque, than other seasons and these prior COVID seasons, you know. But they were still lackluster. It's like, okay, one's going on a horse scene, on a horse ride. The other one's going on a catamaran, and the other one, I even forgot what Joe did. They walked around the park. I forgot. What did Joe do?
Honestly, I don't remember either.
Oh, zip line. They zip line. He was probably the most exciting. But I feel like a zip line is something that she would do on a regular as date. Didn't she zip line with somebody else? I have no idea. It just felt very whatever.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I think I agree that it would have been a problem no matter what, though, because I think he's the most invested. So, and
Yeah.
just I don't really think it would have mattered that much what order he went in.
Yeah. I mean, it's going to be an interesting thing. Next week is going to be 3 hours. I don't know why. It makes no sense.
I mean, I think these past few seasons, they've really been dragging it out. Like, in all honesty, they could do it in an hour. 2 hours is still too long, maybe an hour and a half, just because after the final rose. But they've really been dragging it. So we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah. So everybody's thoughts on who's going to get this final rose. Who is she going to pick?
Nate.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yep.
That's definitely who she's picking.
Yeah, I feel like I'm really still getting my hopes up for Brandon, but I know it's probably not happening. He's already spoiled.
I feel really bad for Brandon. I do feel really bad for him, but I just don't see it going that way, to be honest. But maybe she'll maybe she'll pull the switcheroo. I don't see that happening. I don't think that's ever happened with a Bachelorette, but you never know.
Yeah, it'll be very interesting. It'll be very interesting to see this. I don't know. Felt a little lackluster to me, not gonna lie, but it is what it is.
But hopefully we have a lot to talk about after the 3-hour episode next week.
Did someone say maybe Rodney? Maybe she picks Rodney. Maybe she just stops. Like I'm trying to figure out what this dilemma is, where she's like, what am I doing?
I think that Brandon is everything that she has wanted and checks all of the boxes off, but I think that she just has that pull to Nate that she can't describe necessarily. I think he checks off a lot of boxes too, but I think Nate is the one in the movie that you're like, you don't understand maybe completely. I mean, I think we understand because look at him, but she just for whatever reason, it's one of those things you just can't explain. And I think she just feels pulled towards him, and I think that she is gonna follow that because I think that she'll regret not following that more than she would if she went the safe route with Brandon.
Yeah. I can totally see that. And you know what? I think ultimately it is very teenage movie type thing where you're like, oh no, but that's the best friend and you want them to be together. But she goes for the hot. Yeah, she definitely I definitely get those vibes too. Wouldn't it be amazing if it became an RE season and she picks Nate and then decides that she made the biggest mistake and then gets Rodney at the very end?
You know what? I don't think that would fly with literally anyone except for the way it worked with Lauren that season, because I don't feel like anybody else, after you've, like, initially chosen someone else, I don't think anyone else would have gone along with it the way that Lauren did. I don't think that Brandon would either. Like, it say that because Ari, when he did that, he was engaged to Becca for, like, a month or so. It was a while,
And
and
he
then
talked to Lauren before he even broke things off with Becca. Like, he talked to Lauren behind Becca's back while they were still happily engaged and confirmed that he would have, a place to land with Lauren before he actually broke things off with Becca. So
Mhm.
no, I still don't even understand that really, but they're happy together now, so that's great for them.
And have twins, don't they, or something like that? Or they
They
just had
had a
twins?
daughter, and then they had twins, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, hey, I just wanted to throw it out just to kind of see what people would think,
Yes,
you
that's
know,
the
because we always love scenarios. So yeah. So next week is the finale, yay, of The Bachelorette, 3-hour finale. So we will all let you know whether or not we're even up to recap this. I want to say yes, and we probably be half asleep. Who knows what will happen
Yeah.
next week?
Might be a next day situation.
I'm
We'll let
thinking so
you.
too. We'll keep you posted. But if you do want to know, make sure you click like and subscribe. If you haven't already click like, please click like right now. Help us with the algorithms. Leave us a comment on who you think is going to, who Michelle is going to pick. Click to receive the notifications so that you know when we're on. Make sure you also follow us on all of our IG and Twitter handles, which are down below. Next, I think we're also going to talk about the new year, because this will probably be the last recap of the year until we start back in 2022, which is insane.
I know.
I can't believe it's already that time. So we are looking into a couple of new shows to recap. Let us know in the comments what you are going to be watching in 2022. Maybe one of us girls will pick it up. We are looking into doing, or a few of us would be into doing Drag Race, which starts in January. I believe it's January 7th, if I'm not mistaken. So if you watch RuPaul's Drag Race, I know that Busy would be interested in doing that, along with Girl Let's Agree to Disagree. We also have Celebrity Big Brother that's going to be coming up very soon, shortly following that. Do we know the date again? I forgot the date for Celebrity Big Brother.
I don't know for Celebrity Big Brother, but we were also discussing Survivor 42, which premieres March 2nd. And I know we have a lot of Survivor fans who subscribe to the podcast. So, we definitely will be doing that.
Yes. Gregory, X on the Beach is also going to be happening. And I am definitely down to do that. That's going to be a little messy because we know
what BB Icon's going to be on.
Jamar.
Oh, yes. Okay.
I want to marry my best friend. I don't know if that's you saying that you want to marry your best friend, or if that's an actual show. Is that an actual show?
Probably.
No.
Oh, yes. He meant Yvonne.
Oh, okay.
Yes. Look at you all quick. Everybody's like, duh. Hello, Kemi, Devon.
Gotcha. Yeah.
No. Definitely. Okay. Thanks, Madison. Maybe February 3rd. I believe February would be Celebrity Big Brother and Survivor 42. Are y'all going tomorrow to the finale? Where are you all going to be?
Yes. So
Yep.
if anyone is in the New York area, Wendell and Bryce are throwing their Survivor finale party in Hoboken. The link to the tickets should be in both Wendell and Bryce's Instagram bios. So we will also tweet that out. If you're in the area, we would love to meet you guys.
Yes.
And also, please prayer circle for Ricard. Prayer circle for a Ricard win. That's all we can hope for. But yes.
Agreed.
We're Ricard stands. We are. I will be here in Chicago, but I will be, for anybody who's interested, follow me on IG because I will be posting where I'm at, and I will be potentially with some of the Survivor cast, or maybe I'm not, or maybe I will, or maybe I won't be, but I am going to a Survivor finale party as well, and I'm going to be excited to show you a few people. But yes, yeah, all the things. So make sure you follow each and every one of us, because we will all be posting content on our handles, and you can see what everybody's doing for Survivor finale. Yeah. And that is it. We love you all so much. We will let you know again next week when we will be on. We love you all, and good night.